Hey everyone, Georgie here with Ukraine Matters. Today there's not going to be a map update video because we have a couple of very important topics to talk about. The first one, I'm pretty sure you already heard about because it's all over the news, is the video that is surfaced of Russian soldiers brutally executing and beheading Ukrainian soldier. Now, just saying out loud makes me relive the moment when I saw this video. Therefore, I will just take a second and ask you, if you do not have an obligation to watch this video, do not search or see this video in blurred or non-blurred format. It's gonna traumatize you and it's gonna stick with you for a while, potentially forever. As I said, there are people that must watch these videos. Obviously, the journalists, everyone else, because they need to report the news, they need to report on what Russia does. But most importantly, who needs to watch this video is politicians. Politicians needs to be aware what is the global situation that they're dealing with. And they need to be very clearly aware who and who is acting in this war. It is impossible for parties that participate in war to convey the horrors of war, to explain what does it mean when thousands of kids are deported, or what does it mean when tens of thousands of your civilians get destroyed by bombs, or when city like Bakhmut or Marinka, by looking at the pictures now, is just a pile of rubble, and just a year ago they were prosperous, green, and lively cities full of joy and love. It's impossible to deliver on a personal level because we emphasize with stories. We emphasize that's just how we are, the people. We emphasize with personal experiences and personal pain. That is why this video is important to see by every single politician. So what you should do if you're watching this, then you should go to Google, search for the name of your local representative that is representing your county, district, city, whatnot, anything, anyone, and write him a short message saying, we need to stop this. We need to prevent more of this happening in Ukraine. We need to make sure that this never spreads beyond Ukraine. This barbarism, this brutality, this inhumanity that is right now being deflected from us by Ukrainians must not spread beyond the borders of Ukraine. And the way to do that is that we need to support Ukraine more. We need to send more support to Ukraine, especially armaments, especially weapons, especially everything else. Because by only strengthening the armed forces of Ukraine, we can prevent anything like this happening to anyone else, or even more Ukrainians to that matter. So they must say, so write this message to your local representative, hit send, and if you want, you can post a link to the video. But I know some people feel kind of like, oh, but maybe they will start some kind of arrangement. Believe me, guys, by this point, video has been widespread, and I do know that politicians will know what you're talking about. But if you can, also attach the link, put it to Twitter. On my community page, I posted a link to the blurred video. Just don't watch it yourself. Just copy the link. Next is going to be one of the G-Man's rant that I have here. It's from the situation that happened last week. And by being a rant, that means that I will get very passionate and very emotional about what I say. So if you feel that you are disagreeing with me very strongly, that you experience a little bit of a throbbing just below your waistline, you should stop right there, close the video, write down your angry comment, and we'll see each other on the next map update. For everyone else that stayed, I want to talk about some of the aspect about the killing of Vladlen Tatarsky, or as some people call it, a blogger. He was no ordinary blogger, because to this story we have multiple things that were left unsaid in the video about the situation. but more important, they're more representative of us than it is about the situation. And the first thing is the pure fucking ignorance, which is that people that do not even understand what kind of person it is read a headline on the news and then make all kind of assessments based on their presumed understanding. So they tell us or write me or something else later that, oh, how can you support the killing of a blogger? Now, to be fair, I don't support the killing. I would love for him to get justice. I would love for him to see punishment in the by the rule of law in the court. However, world is not freaking just. That much we already see by just looking at today's video that we discussed before. Vladlen Tatarsky is a horrible person. I believe Jake Bro looked at him as a person. I believe some other bloggers were looking at him, who is he as a person. But more importantly, people were saying, oh yeah, but there were like civilians around him. So, wow, if you should kill him, maybe you should, like kill so the others don't get hurt. I'm sorry. The place that he was killed is not just some random place. It was a closed party event where he was sitting down and telling others why Ukraine is not being destroyed hard enough. It was a closed event in a cafe that was owned by Prigozhin, where people that are looking at this propagandist of what he's saying, the genocidal rhetoric that he's pushing, that came to listen to him, so then they can take his information and promote it more to kill more Ukrainians. Because that's what propagandists do. And that's the important distinction that I want to make here. He is not a blogger. He's not doing food reviews. He was not a beauty blogger, for fuck's sake. He was a genocidal propagandist that rose hundreds and thousands of people, tried to twist and turn perspective of who Ukrainians are as a people, show them, dehumanize them, show them as they are only to the enemies to be slaughtered without them doing anything. He was there to propagate only one thing: hate and death. That's it. That's the only value that he was bringing. Then we go into the discussion about, well, killing and so on, especially like in this city, while so far from the front lines. Now, this is something that I've noticed before. It's the perception of a faraway war. We in European countries that are sitting here like me in Denmark are enjoying our fucking frappuccinos while waking up every morning to the chirping of birds and so on, without understanding what the horrors of war are. We'll look up a video on Twitter or YouTube where someone gets beheaded. Oh, nice. No, so horrible. Right? Well, it is horrible. It's only horrible for us for 1 minute, 1 day. It's horrible for Ukrainians for over a year. How about that? And most importantly to that is that there is this perspective that war is just one-sided, that, it's like nothing really happens if just one country invades the other one. So, well, yes, soldiers get killed. Well, some women get raped, some children get abducted. Oh, yeah, but, like they really have the right to enjoy their coffee in Moscow or in Petersburg. That's not how wars work. When a country enters the state of war, it's not just like military. War is not a fucking hockey game or a football game when it's limited by the field. It's not. When the whole country is at war, then everything becomes at war. Ukraine has full right, and besides, I'm not completely sure that it was Ukrainians that bombed Tatarsky, but let me make clear. Because the perception of normality that Russia is painting, that Russian state is somehow a peaceful nation, that they are just enjoying their life inside of Moscow City, enjoying their tea, whatnot, No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. The whole state of Russia, every city, every corner, every toilet, every fucking basement, every attic, everything is a part of a nation in war. There is very little safe places. Like one of the biggest problems of war and why wars should not be fought is because wars reduce securities to zero. It's not a terror act if it's because you invaded other country. It is like if you are actively invading other sovereign nation and then you have problems happening at your own base, that is your problem. The fact that there was bombing inside of St. Petersburg killing this propagandist is only because Putin invaded in 2014 into Ukraine. That is why. That is why. It's not the killing, the bombings. Oh God, the civilians. The civilians would be fine. And a lot of the civilians would be fine in Ukraine, by the way. Have you thought about that? So, what I'm getting to is that the nations at war stay at war until the war is over, at least. So, when Russia started this war, everyone became a target, especially if they're supporting the war, and especially if they're propagandists. That's why the notion that he was just a blogger is complete nonsense. You can hear this from any kind of military, I don't know, analyst or even like a military person themselves. If they say, okay, I have a chance to destroy like, 10, 15 enemy soldiers, or I can destroy one of the propagandists that to whom over 500,000 people are listening to, a propagandist that is motivating other people to go take up arms and go kill Ukrainians, then the answer is going to be just one, a propagandist. That's why the killing of this blogger is not just a beauty blogger that just got exploded and a bunch of civilians got hurt. It was a propagandist that was sitting inside of a state that executed military aggression on the other peaceful nation. And during that state of war, that propagandist who became a target made a closed event to which he invited a bunch of other people to tell them how better to kill Ukrainians. And then he got blown up. There is nothing there that would even mildly excuse this as a subject, or even closely, even kind of like in a ballpark, put it together to some kind of a terror act in a peaceful country. And I know you might not like me. You might not like what I'm saying. You might not like how I'm saying it. You might even again disagree, even despite me saying that you should be switching off this video. But at least take away this. Like, don't take my words, just take one fact. One fact, which is that Ukrainians in Ukraine are being killed, tortured, decapitated every single day for the last more than a year. They never asked for this. And most importantly, it's not just the military that is happening to. The second also kind of part of this fact is that if Ukraine would give up, the killing would not stop. It would not stop the killing. The only thing, if Ukraine would give up, would end up all of the civilians that would just fall into the Russian butcher's hands, and they would be killed every single day until Russian thirst for blood is satisfied, and there will be zero repercussions for them. Please take that fact, even if you don't like me, it's fine. It's fine to dislike me. I'm an asshole. That's the point. But take that fact with you. I love you all. Slava Ukraini. And I'll see you guys next time.